Hello and welcome to Ivory Library. I'm Ivy or Ivy May and I have an empty TBR cart behind me and it's the start of 2025. So pretty sure that means this vlog is my 2025 TBR. I am going into a no-buy year this year, which essentially means that I'm not spending my money until I get myself under control, essentially. I'll make a whole vlog talking about my 2025 goals, what my no-buy year means, and all of that kind of stuff, but to sum it up, I'm essentially just not buying any new books, any new clothes, and I want to save up some money. Last year was kind of my gap year because I went straight from high school into university. That was my first year off. So I said, screw it, we're going to go to all the concerts we want, we're going to buy everything that we want, and we're just going to live life to the fullest. But 2025 means lock-in year, guys. So, with saying that, I have enough books to fill this cart. They are all in front of me. So in no particular order, we're going to go through my 2025 TBR. Starting off, we have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. I started reading this one. I did like it, but also I started reading it and I was annotating it, and then my pen died. And then I stopped annotating it and stopped reading it. But it's kind of like D&D but horror. And I like it. Like, it's just that if you get the chaos of D&D, then you will understand why I'm saying that for this novel. If you don't, ignore me. It's just fantasy horror. It's good. Up next, and this one I've kind of been meaning to read for a while. Ooh, sneak peek. Oh, hit my elbow. Chaos, guys. Flower Heart by Catherine Blackwell. Look at that cover. She's cozy fantasy. A lot of the books on my TBR are fantasy novels, so sorry about that. Following in suit, we have The Broken Prince by Erin Watt. I don't actually know if this is the first one. I think it's like a little series, kind of like the Twisted Love series, although I've not read that, so don't quote me on that, where it's like you don't have to read them all together, but it says booktok. This was gifted to me, so oopsie daisies, I'm gonna have to find the first one maybe on my Kindle because I can't buy anything, guys. I found this one at a book exchange. It's My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otesum Wash. I don't know how to say that last name. I don't want to butcher it because TikTok will come for me. Even though this is YouTube, they'll find a way, guys. Yes, onto the TBR cart she goes. Up next, Blood and Moonlight by Erin Beatley. This one, I really want to read this one, y'all. But what ants are on this page? Not words, ants. I can't read that. It's teeny tiny. I'm gonna have to read it though because it's on the TBR card. I also found this one in a book exchange. This one, which is An Abundance of Catherines by John Green, which is like one of the only John Green novels I haven't read, so that can also go on the TBR card. And this one I know for a fact is very, very popular. 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I also found this at a book swap, which is like crazy to me. I'm pretty sure this book's gonna make me bawl my eyes out, or maybe I'm remembering the wrong book, but yeah. Makes me nervous. A lot of these books are also very, very popular on BookTok because people buy me books a lot. Speaking of which, we have The Serpent and the Wings of Night. That was a lot. By Carissa Broadbent? Carissa Broadbent? What the Carissa Broadbent. I actually do want to read this one. I'm very excited about reading this one. I had it on my Kindle for a really, really long time, but I just was not inclined to read it on my Kindle for some reason. So hopefully reading it physically will fix that. Up next is Immortal Dark by Tigress Germa. This is just like sexy vampires. I can't wait to read this. Oh. The next one I'm dreading reading, With a Burning Passion of a Thousand Sun. I've not heard good things about her, and this is anything like Powerless, which I've heard that it is. I don't think I'm gonna like it. I'm still gonna read it, but I don't think I'm gonna like it. Oh, on a note of a book that I do think I'm gonna like, we have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This book, oh my god, I love me a good cozy fantasy. I love this. I'm so excited to read this book. It might actually be one of my first reads of the years, guys. Actually not sure if this is the first one in this series. I tend to do that a lot where I like will just see a book and I'm like, ooh, that looks good, and then I don't check whether or not it's the first one. But I don't think that it is, because it says A New Mortal Engines Adventure. So I'm like, well, we'll have to do some research. But I have Philip Reeve's Thunder City. I did the research. It's the 5th book.
Oops.
It looks like Treasure Planet. Like, excuse me, look at that. Brilliant. This is one that I've tried to read multiple times, but the writing is so small that I like physically cannot get my eyes to focus on it. And it is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and I know that I'm gonna love it, but that is tiny, guys. That is tiny. Same thing, but I have Curious Tides by Pascal Lachelle. Like, I really want to read it, but that writing is so small. It is going to be so good. If you know anything about me, you need to know that I love the sea, I love pirates, and I love mythology. Speaking of, we have The Lies of Loch Lomore by Scott Lynch. Pirate book. How could I not want to read this? What do you mean? Next one, I bought this because this is such a dumb reason to buy a book. Where is it? Playlist. Emo music. What more could I want? It's emo music. So we have How Does It Feel by Janae O'Reilly. This is like Evil Fae. If you know, you know. And I'm pretty sure everybody on here does know, even if you don't read that stuff, you still would know. All That's Left in the World by Eric J. Brown. This is a cute little queer romance story. From what I know, it's like post-apocalyptic vibes, so I think that's gonna be really fun. This one's kind of funny. Well, I found this at a book swap and I kind of got it for little me. But it's Joey Graceffa's book, Children of Eden. I'm not expecting this to be good. It's just kind of like a bucket list read for me. Up next, I actually kind of am halfway through this one and I do just need to finish it. It's The Graveyard Shift by The Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. Actually, I'm not even going to bother putting that on the cart. I think I'll just finish reading it today and stop being a baby, in all honesty. Oh my god, on the topic of pirates and freaking Peter Pan, like, bro, these depthless shores. This is just Peter Pan but fucked up. Oh, sorry, by P.H. Lowe. I didn't mean to skip the name, but yeah. I want to read this, but look at the size of her. What do you mean? What do you mean? Now, from what I know, this is a little Australian author. I found this one in Big W, I think it was. And it's Mistress of Amber and Flame by Maria Linwood. And it just seems like a really freaking awesome fantasy novel. Like, let me make sure she is actually Australian. Since she moved to Australia in 2022, she's been writing epic fantasy in England. Yeah, so it's like, I'm excited to read that one. I think it's going to be really, really fun. This next one I did read, but like I remember nothing about it, and I think that's because of the period of time that I read it in, so it's back on the card so that I can reread it. And it's Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid, because I think I did not appreciate this enough the first time I read it, and I remember nothing of it. The next one is a bit of a weird one. It's kind of, I guess, the odd one out of the bunch because we have a lot of fantasy and a little bit of romance. Top Dolls. This is like literary fiction, I think, but I've read a lot of Karen McCarthy Wolf's work before, and I really, really like the way that she articulates herself. So I thought that maybe this would be fun. It's like a little poetry book, but it like, yeah, I don't, but there's like actual chapters in there, so yeah. It's also a really cute cover. I have The Rebels by Stacey Thomas. This is like playwright, like mystery novel. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like about a playwright and he has to like solve a mystery, so I thought it was really cool. I was very excited about it. Now I got this one because it kind of reminded me of the cover of Belladonna, but like what Belladonna thought Belladonna was giving, and it's The Bell Witches by Lindsay Cleek. Tell me that doesn't look beautiful. Like exquise. You'll want to be one until you know their secrets. Like, oh my god, obsessed. Just the vibes, immaculate. It's about witches, I'm pretty sure. It says so on the cover. Next I have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I really want to read this one. It got dragons, but as you're about to see from the next book, I have issues with novels about dragons, apparently. And I feel like I just told you what it was. Don't come for me, because I'm literally just a girl. I can't even get that one to sit upright, so I'm going to have to rejig all of this. I was going to anyway. I know. I'm sorry. I will get around to it. I just... There's no excuse. I know. Because even if it's not for me, I need to have read it, because it is she. But yes. Sorry. One I bought because I thought the characters on the front were pretty. is The Law of the Wilds by Anna Lee. I'm not going to try and say that last name because I don't want to mess it up, but I'm pretty sure it's like Sabina. But yeah, look at that. She's stunning. He's got little antlers. Like, dude, these characters, amazing. The next novel was purchased for the exact same reason, and it is Beneath These Cursed Stars by Lexi Ryan. Look at them. They look like D&D characters. I'm all for it. This next one, actually, I meant to read last year. I did pick it up to read it, and then I read something else instead. And it's The Bad Ones by Melissa Albert. I really want to read this. It's a mystery, but I ended up reading The Fog by Brooke Hardwick, and I 10 out of 10 recommend that book if you don't mind a bit of talk about, like, pregnancy and pregnancy when pregnancy doesn't go well, and abuse. Because it's a really good book. But I'm guessing half the people watching this read Colleen Hoover, so read away, because at least Brooke Hardwick is really well. Controversial. I'm gonna have to bleep that out. I'm not telling you all what I said. The topic of Colleen Hoover, we have Verity by Colleen Hoover. I am currently reading this book. I'm not going to tell you what I think because I want you to go watch the vlog that I'm filming. But yeah, so she's not even going on the TBR because like the graveyard shift. Next one, and I'm sorry Daisy if you ever watch this video, this was recommended to me by one of the people in my book club, and it's The Jade City by Fonda Lee. I do want to read it, I just genuinely haven't had the time. I apologize. And on the same topic as that, The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is actually in my book club book, and I have not touched it, nor read it, nor even looked at it. That's a lie, I have. I just literally was too brain dead to try and remember everybody and everything that was happening, so on to the TBR it goes. Last but not least, A Touch of Darkness, because I'm nothing if not a fan of Greek mythology. This one is by Scarlett St. Clair. Hades and Persephone! So I'm really interested as somebody that's like a little bit autism-y about Greek mythology, if this is going to be a hit or a miss. But I do think it'll be a fun book to sit there and nitpick. I'm not expecting it to be lore accurate, I'm expecting it to be smutty. I don't know how to feel about that. There's a reason it's on the TBR card still. Alright, well, with saying that, I have approximately 32 books, not including these ones which are not going back on the card. I might organize this in a way that it works for me. We might do it from like, I want to read it now to later, even though I'm a mood reader. I don't think that's how that's gonna last. I just need them all to fit. I just need them all to fit on there. So let's do that together. I might actually, books that I've already started reading, I'm just gonna pop up the top. Now I'm picking books that I want to read the most. Oh, y'all, I skipped a book. I just remembered I have From Under the Oak Tree, like a special edition one that my cousin sourced for me because she's brilliant and she works in a bookstore. And I used to read the, I guess you could say like the webtoon of it, and I was absolutely obsessed with it, and I didn't know it actually was like in printed novel form now. So that's also on my TBR. I'll show you a clip of how beautiful the book is. I actually have a lot of space, so I might just grab some books off of my bookshelves that I also need to read, because like my TBR is kind of like for standalones, but I have a lot of series that I've either not started or not finished that are actually on my bookshelves. Crave by Chelsea Wolfe. The Ballad of Never After. House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Approximately 36 now. Thank you for joining me. I'm very excited to read this year. I'm also very excited to write this year. I think finding a balance between those two is going to be really challenging, but it's something I'm really looking forward to. It's not as overwhelming as it was last year. Happy reading, bookworms. I will see you next time. Go get a drink of water, go brush your teeth, go have a shower, look in the mirror, tell yourself you love yourself, because it's very important stuff. I love you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.